What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another CranKy Ducklings cast. Sentimiento Latino number 88. I'm Yodaslim, joined with Light. How you doing today, Light?
What is up? We are back. We are live with with some Sentimiento Latino. It feels like it's been a while. You know, we had a lot of dream hack in between.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but it's good to finally be back, and we got quite the bracket.
Yeah,
quite the bracket and quite the first game.
yeah, it's huge. I think we have like 50 players today, and it took us a while, but we're finally getting ready for our first series.
Yeah, it took us a minute. It was a little weird in the beginning, but we got it figured out, and we're in the lobby, and maps loaded, and we should be starting soon. But I'm excited for this one, just to see this player again right here. One of my favorites.
yeah, I think you know, since we weren't able to cast the last one, actually we missed a Sentimiento Latino, and Ryu actually won it.
Oh, he did. Nice.
Yeah, I think it was in the finals, as he should. I think it was in the finals against Eggs, and I want to say he went all the way up to game 5. So
dang, that's a good one. That's always a good one.
Yeah, definitely. As we're just waiting for Chaos to come back. And as soon as he comes back, we can just get to it.
And we're ready to start. Yeah. Cool. We got the Spanish cast going, and we're the only English cast, huh, for today. Nice. So I feel like this is this should be important to NA players as well, because when it comes down to it, this is as close as you're gonna get to good players in the Americas.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see. Like, shout out to Grizzly. She's casting in for the first time. Yeah. She's got Mabels on her stream.
Dope.
I think it may be the first time Mabels is casting, period. So it's,
I would think so. I haven't seen Mabels anywhere. Maybe on stream.
Yeah. It's really cool that she's doing that, and that they're, you know, working together and stuff.
Yeah, it's dope. So they got the all-girl Spanish cast. That's sick.
Yeah. And obviously, no bias, but the winner of this will go up against Eggs. So
yeah,
of course, Mabels wants to get in on that.
Yeah, of course. She had to pick this one.
Hopefully,
I mean, she didn't have to follow it into the next round, but it only makes sense.
Yeah. Hopefully they're in different rooms.
This is how he's gonna end up winning. While she's casting, you just hear the keyboard in the background. No, I'm sure they're in separate areas, obviously, but
yeah,
that would be hilarious if they weren't. I don't think it would help too much. It'd be really hard to look at one computer and work at the same time.
Yeah. I would like to think they're in separate rooms, you know, make sure.
Maybe completely separate houses.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
I like
countries.
I like the thought of they're like in the apartment together, and she's like, "I'm casting today. I'm kicking you out. you can't be here." It's like, what?
You can't play here. Yeah. I got a cast. It's against the rules. You can't be in the house. He's playing in the backyard. Oh my god, but we're here. We're in it, and I'm happy to be casting this man again in the bottom left-hand corner on Eternal Empire LE. It is I think he's teamless, right? Or
yes.
Teamless. Wow, that's crazy. Somehow this man's teamless. It is Ryu.
And spawning in at the top right-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, we have the Peruvian Terran player representing Team New Angels. It is Kaozfate.
I wonder what's with this name here.
I have no idea.
YSPH. Is that maybe a clan or something? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't understand. Sometimes players, they name themselves weird things, and I don't.
Yeah. Oh. And then you go and play in a tournament. Interesting. There's all types of crazy reasons for that. StarCraft
Yeah.
players are weird with their Smurf accounts and their barcode accounts.
Yeah, especially because it's weird if you're doing this to like play as someone you're not, right? Like as a Smurf account or as a pseudo barcode, because then once people know this is you, then this is you anyway, you know? Like
Yeah, and then it doesn't matter anyways.
yeah.
I feel the only reason it'd be smart to do it is so they can't look at your history and see what you played, maybe your build orders.
Yeah, but then why would you play with that account in a tournament though, right? Like
Yeah, exactly. Just play with the barcode and then come to the tournament.
yeah.
Regular one. I don't know. These are all things that I wonder. I stay up at night and think about. It's like, why did he use a barcode for that tournament?
Yeah, this is interesting to say the least. That Ryu, I think he went for a pull first, and now he's sneaking his things around. I mean, you know all about this, right? That you got to avoid the Reaper, and
this is bread and butter for me. So he went for the gas first into the spawning pool, and that allows him to get speed a little bit quicker. So by the time the Reaper actually moved out, that's huge. That's perfect for Ryu. He can now get this SCV, and the Reaper's going to try and turn around. Excuse me. By the time the Reaper gets back on that side, speed should be done. Or he should be able to hide the Lings for a little bit and get speed out eventually. If he doesn't throw the Lings away here. You want to keep him alive.
Yeah, a bit of pathing issue there. He was trying to get the Marine, but he gets pushed back, and he's going to try and delay this further, but
Ooh, barely saved it. Yeah, he's gonna lose all the Lings, and he did what he needed to do. He delayed the CC for a little bit longer.
Yeah. It was actually really good. Like best case scenario, you delay the CC and then like you kill a couple more SCVs. But like regardless, like this also helps because he forced the Reaper to come all the way back home, which means you can pretty safely get your third base. You know, you can macro up, drone up, and be pretty greedy behind this.
You can get your queens out. I also think he kept 2 drones on the gases, and so now he's able to get that quick, what is it?
Overload speed. Yeah.
And then once he gets that, he can just take it off the gas, go back to mining. He's already fully saturated in his main and natural. As soon as his third goes up, he's probably gonna main art some drones over there.
Yeah,
he's making more drones.
he's just droning up. Like, it's fine. And
even though he's oversaturated.
Behind this, we do have a 1-1-1, and Ryu, with that overload speed, he comes in, he spots it, he's looking to check to make sure there isn't a fusion core in the back, because, you know, there are BC openers, but yeah.
Look at this, he's going for a Viking first and Cloaked Banshee, so he's gonna get like a really late Banshee out.
Oh, okay.
And the Overlords have speed, so
yeah.
they're not really gonna go down to any Vikings. If anything, he might get that one Overlord, but that's it.
We'll see if because you're right in the sense that he saw that there's overlord speed, so it's going to be difficult for the Vikings to get any damage done. But maybe he'll what?
Whoa, he's faking it. He's doing something else. I don't know what he's doing. But this should be a tell right here. He should know something's up because he saw the factory move. I don't know. This is all really technical. He moved the factory, so he knows the factory's not making any more Hellions. And he saw that the barracks was still on the tech lab, so he should know something's up. He probably is gonna assume that this is mech coming up.
Yeah,
but it's really like STEM. He's going into double upgrades now.
This is interesting because again, it's weird. He probably thinks that it's Banshees, right? Because of that starport. And these 2 Vikings, we could just see Viking harass. Like they could just go into the mineral lines and land. I don't know how much damage that's gonna get done. But
usually have your Overlords like spread out to see the Banshees coming in, so maybe he can catch an Overlord or 2 a little bit too far out.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of this, as behind this of course he is going by. He's got all those Raxes on the way. The Queens are in nice positions to deal with the Hellions, and
he's getting double gases right now. Okay, he's getting the 3rd CC, so he doesn't plan to expand behind this, but he's gonna have a pretty big army here because he's going for the double upgrades right now.
Yeah, and it looks like
he almost got that barely. Should rip the Viking for it. It's worth it.
Yeah, especially because so far these Vikings haven't really done any damage, and oh god, this one's taking a beating as well.
Yeah, I feel like he was just trying to keep Ryu in the dark, but I mean, I just feel like it's kind of not really a good idea to keep him in the dark and then just go bio. Like if you're gonna do all this tricky play, at least get some value out of it, go into mech or something crazy. But he's just going regular bio, and he might get something good here, but not for that many Hellions that went down.
Yeah.
And Ryu's already going in the Banelings, +1 carapace, +1 melee, droning up like a madman, 12 drones on the production tab. And we're just gonna get into a standard game here. I'm not too sure what the Viking thing was there.
Yeah. I mean, I liked what he was trying to do, like the Liberator with that huge Hellion run by. Like, it almost looked insane, but the Banelings were already here. He did get a couple of workers, which is nice. Like, it could have been a lot worse. Like this, but in the end, it did get dealt with. And behind this Ryu, he just drones up.
I think he was just banking on the fact that most Zergs don't go Overlord speed. So it's like you get 2 Vikings out, and those Overlords that are out there looking for the Ravens, or not the Ravens, I'm sorry, the Banshees, you can actually kill them because they'll be slow.
Yeah.
But I think Ryu went Overlord speed and he's like, oh crap, now what? Like, all right, I was going to bio and try to get some damage.
Yeah, it could be something where Chaos, like, he has this build and he's just doing it regardless, like whether or not like his opponent ends up getting Overlord speed or not.
It's hard to tell they have it until they're flying fast in your base.
Yeah. So
but I could imagine if there's no Overlord speed, you get the first Overlord and all the other Overlords that are out there are slow. Like, he almost killed a fast Overlord.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was slow.
Yeah,
and then
definitely.
that completely cripples like the production of the Zerg. I could see that being really good in another game, but not against Ryu.
Yeah. Ryu, because of his opener, he was already fine against it, and now he's fully saturated on 4 bases. He's getting a 5th base behind this as well. Yeah. And what's interesting is the armies are gonna kind of miss each other. There's a big Ling run by getting set up, and the army of Chaos is already here on creep.
I don't know if he has enough to defend at home though. Ryu, that is. He's gonna go for the Ling run by in the back. He's gonna have to really try and pull something off here. Queen even getting caught out. There's some Marines here, and SCV's even going to repair.
Yeah.
I think this might be bad for Ryu. He's gonna over this round though. That's pretty good.
Yeah, like there are a decent amount of Banelings, but the tanks are already pre-sieged up. They're already split up as well, and
Lings came in just in the right time. Banes exploded on the tanks. It's not really what you want, but he is able to clean most of it up. And the Lings came back from the original run by because I guess he realized he wasn't going to be able to get any damage on there at the wall at the 3rd, and so that was pretty good defense there by Ryu.
Yeah, that was perfect. Like, somehow he ended up with like almost a complete 360 surround. Kind of lucky.
Even army supplies now.
Yeah, it's kind of lucky how that worked out because he went for that counterattack. It didn't do any damage. He's like, all right, I guess we'll come home. And then he ends up surrounding the army.
I think that's what he was waiting for. He was waiting for those Lings to come back to pull the trigger on the full surround. But yeah, I think he had that just timed out perfectly. He's a madman. We've seen what he can do with some Lurkers and Vipers. He's already taking in the Ultralisks and Vipers, so he did just stay on Ling Bane. Well, actually, he went into... It looked like he was going to go Mutas. He got the Spire, but now he's just making straight up Corruptors, and I think he's going to go straight into Broodlords or something.
Yeah. I mean, he already has the Hive, so he's going to go Ultras first, and then I imagine Broodlords eventually. Like, he's already got the tech for it. He even spots the drop as well, so he should be getting ready for it as well. So
they could just be safety Corruptors, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ideally, that's your anti-air, right? When you have Ultralists, you need your Corruptors to try and deal with Liberators, but there aren't any Liberators. He's Chaos is still like Bio, like mine.
Yeah. He's just now tossing in the mines too. We haven't really seen mines. He's only really went out for one big push, so yeah, I feel like the Terran player has to do a little bit more here.
Oh god, this is a little bit dangerous.
He knows.
Okay.
I like the Corruptors being thrown in there because even if there is no fight, actually he should chase this because there's no medevacs here. I mean, obviously he's not going to run too far, but
yeah,
no medevacs to heal, so a couple Banelings.
Now we do have this this little bit of a dance here, and at any moment, Ryu, he's gonna get a couple Marines here.
This is just so risky here. This is definitely a dance. Like, I would have pulled the trigger 10 times over.
Yeah. Like, without Ultralisk, it's kind of hard to engage into Widow Mines. Like, these Widow Mines could completely...
The medevac, and I'm like, go! There's nothing to heal. You chase him down, you stem. Ideally, if you're fast enough, you can like activate some banelings on top of the widow mines. I don't know. There's a lot you could do there, but yeah, Ryu's playing it safe because he already has his half of the map. He's got more workers. He's got the late game army, the upgrades. He's getting burrow. He's getting everything he can, just and the greater spire as well.
Yeah.
So,
and
this army is pretty much disposable for him.
Yeah, and he just rotated, and the army of Chaos was completely out of position. He's pulling everything back now, and because of that, he's going to end up losing his 4th base. So now he's contained to 3 bases, and you were saying it, right? Ryu, he essentially has an entire half of the map already. He's expanding, and finally, Chaos is starting to push out. And to be fair, like, this army is a little bit scary. There's not a lot of, like, anti-ultra, though.
Yeah, I think if you did a couple blinding clouds, if you can get them off, because there's a lot of bio and widow mines. The blinding clouds won't technically work on the widow mines, but he's going for a full surround and he's pulling the trigger. Here he goes, perfect blinding clouds on all tanks other than one, and this army just gets absolutely obliterated. All of the ultralisks are still alive. A couple of them are weak, but this army just needs to get picked up. I think they're just going to keep kiting until they die.
Yeah, and this is the problem, right? Like, he dealt with all the Ling Bane, but now what are you going to do about the Ultralists? Like, there's nothing but Ultralists left, and Marines, they just can't deal with it. They're forced all the way back, and
medevacs just boosted out. They left the Marines like, we need to get home. We don't need the Marines.
You're on your own.
Energy. Yeah. They boosted. That was so messed up. Imagine being a Marine chased by Ultralists. You see the medevacs boost out past you. That's when you know you messed up by joining the army.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is risky. The Banes are gonna finish right in their face.
Oh god.
We got a couple one got out of there. That was okay, but still, he needs the answer to being on 3 bases at the 13-minute mark.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Ooh, those are big Widow Mine connections over there.
Oof.
But he still has a giant army.
Oh, there's still more Widow Mines. Oh, again, decent. The Ultralists have low health. They could all go down.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, I like that. Now, this army's going to take a while to get to the other side of the map. In that time, I think Ryu can morph in a whole bunch of Broodlords and Zerglings, so I think he can give up that base, maybe even one more, because the opponent's just now taking his 4th. I'd love to see a Ling run by. It looks like he is going for a Ling run by with 2 Lings.
Yeah, it looks like he's scouting to see like how many bases his opponent has taken. He confirms that the lower base wasn't taken, and I'm a little bit surprised. I kind of wanted Kaozfate to keep pushing. I feel like there was an opportunity.
Ryu has so much time now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the Banelings weren't morphed in, the Broodlords weren't morphed in, like, there were only a handful of Ultralists. Now he's given him enough time where Ryu, he's able to max out, everything is ready for him. He's gonna have Broodlords of all things, and...
Yeah, Chaos went back right when he saw that he secured that base. He's like, okay, I got another base, I'm gonna go home and chill now. But in reality, like, yeah, you got that base, but it's not even about money at this point. Ryu's already outmined you, he's outbased you, he has a better army. And you had him down. You had to kick him while he was down, but you give him a chance with his economy. Ryu's got the perfect army, and he can remax very easily. He's sitting on 2,000, 3,000 minerals almost, 1,000 gas, and he's expanding on his entire side of the map.
Yeah.
While dealing with drops of Widow Mines everywhere.
The Widow Mine drop gets dealt with, and the armies, they spot each other.
Army off from his own base.
Oh god.
Ryu's a madman. He can squish his army. His army has no way to retreat.
Yeah, and I feel like Chaos finally realizes this. Yeah, like, Broodlords, they take a long time to move across the map, so he only has to deal with the ground army. In this position, maybe he can deal with these Ultralists. One already goes down.
Lightning Cloud? This is bad. Oh, nice Lightning Cloud. Baneling connects, and with that, this should all be cleaned up, and we should see the GG here. Also, very good call by Ryu. He did not take the Broodlord from him. He decided to leave him, which makes him kind of a target. But he has a fast army, making 24 Lings, 4 Ultras, morphing in Banes. And, oh, these Vikings, they could have got the Broods, but they were trying to be safe, and now the Corruptors are here. This base will go down, and that ends the mining over here for the Orange Terran player.
Yeah. I love that he made that decision, by the way, that Ryu, he decided not to turn back with his entire army, that he sent his Broodlords forward. Because of that, he kills the 4th base, and he just keeps Chaos on 3 bases.
Yeah, it's the classic bleed 'em dry tactic, and he's pretty dry right now.
Pretty much, like he's gonna be able to deal with the Ultras, but he loses his 3rd base.
Look at his income. He has like 20 in the bank. His income's 500. GG. Ryu takes it in a very meta style, I think. Oh, I just saw the flags. I just looked over at and I see the flags on the map.
Yeah. I still have those leftover flags, so you know, as long as there's no one from Mexico.
Flags, but yeah, might need that one for the finals here. Speaking of finals, let me know when the game's ready. I'm gonna check the bracket. Won. Who else won? New Ear is playing Diola, and Skoga versus Dark Unnamed. A lot of good games going on. Jim Rising is playing Gato Loco.
So far, I don't think there's anything too out of the ordinary. You know, like there were a couple of walkovers. Like the players we expect to move on have moved on to the 2nd round, and the 2nd round, that's when things are finally starting to kick off. Like these players are starting to like hit each other.
I mean, I'm glad we're getting a ZvT to start it, because sometimes the openers are kind of boring, and that was not boring. ZvT is always good to watch.
Yeah.
ZvT is never it used to be kind of back in the day, but it's not really a slow-moving chess game like TvT would be in the late game. Like TvZ, there's always action, there's always lings, there's always a push. Even though this one on the most it was very passive, but there was still a lot of action at the same time.
Yeah. And talking about that game a little bit, like honestly, I really loved how Ryu, his engagements were just on point. Like so many times, like the first time it felt a little bit on accident, but like when his ultras, he just completely 360 surrounded the army. Like he had sent a couple of ultras all the way around and just completely collapsed on it. And it was like, oh my god, I want to do this.
His tactic is, I'm gonna send a run by, and if the Terran pressures me, I'll bring the run by back behind him. So I think he goes for run by and is like, wait, I'm getting attacked. So he queues it up and then goes for it and just hopes that the armies match up, or at least tries to make a matchup if he possibly can. Because I noticed in one of the engagement you're talking about where the ultras came in, he was waiting a long time, because normally he'll save his queens, but he sacrificed a few queens. He engaged a little bit in the front of the army. Once the ultras came from the back with a couple lings, he pulled all the army in, and man, I love when I do that on the ladder and I just have no idea what happened, but everything's dead and I still got some Hydralisks and ultras left over. I just put units in every corner and then they all just explode. And all the Terran disappears, and it's good to see. Makes for good StarCraft.
Yeah, it was definitely great to see. And yeah, Chaos again, like his opener didn't really do what he wanted it to accomplish. Again with his double Vikings, we'll see if he does the same thing, or maybe he has something else in store for us, as we are going to be loading in to Pillars of Gold.
Yeah, that opener he had in game number 1 was good. I'm interested to see if he has a different type of slightly weird opener here, because that was a slightly weird opener. It was a safe opener. It wasn't too crazy, but it was very different than what a lot of people do. We'll see. And spawning over here in the bottom left-hand corner, he is currently teamless somehow. It's on Pillars of Gold. Ellie, he's the red Zerg. He's Ryu.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the Peruvian Terran player representing Team New Angels. It is Kaozfate. So yeah, and have you been able to ladder a little bit more this?
I hate this map.
Do you still? I was about to say, I remember you didn't like it. Do you still not like it? Is it still?
I hate it even more, specifically today. No, actually, yesterday on the ladder, I lost on this map so many times. The third base is just honestly, it's very far, and there's just so many places against the Terran that they can siege up.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit rough. Like there are a lot of like high ground locations around your third base, your fourth base,
even behind it. Like the third base can be completely surrounded in tanks.
Yeah,
By high ground.
It feels
rough.
like, yeah, it feels like
and
you
then
really.
If you take that other base up there to like the northern corner or whatever, that one, yeah, it's even harder because they can just siege up in every corner possible. Behind that wall over there, that's impossible to defend. And it's a hard ask to destroy that whole wall just to secure your third base.
Yeah. It does feel like a map where you really need to be on point when it comes to like scouting where like army movements, like where the army is coming from, because if you don't know where the tanks are going to be sieging up, then you can just be it can be really rough to say the least.
Yeah, on a map like this, I mean, it's not impossible to win against Terran. You just really have to have creep spread on point, but also I think against Protoss this one gets really rough. Like I've been playing Protoss a little bit, and Glaives on this never fails. Glaive depths against the Zerg, it gets him every time. Because I think the third being so far is really good for depths because it takes like roaches a long time to walk, and it's really hard to creep all the way to the right because you do want that vision kind of in front of the base that you normally go for, but on this map you got to like creep towards your third.
Yeah. And this time, Ryu, he didn't go for an earlier pull, so his Lings are here at home, and he's, you know, struggling a little bit to take his third base. Again, this is a little bit more ideal for Kaozfate. We'll see if he's able to kill the drone.
He has Lings, but he was keeping them up there to make sure, like, another Reaper didn't come in or something.
Yeah.
Or the Reaper didn't go around, maybe. Oh. That was close. Ooh, even gets a Ling. But the third base is secured, and a little bit late. 2 Hellions are already on the way, though, so that's a little bit scary.
Yeah, and he's actually being pretty greedy. He actually made the CC before he started the starport, so he's going very quickly into 3 command centers.
Yeah. This is super greedy. Where's the third CC?
It's in the back.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah, it's pretty hidden, too. That's got a long way to fly anywhere.
Yeah. So I imagine, like, because it's going to be done so soon, it's just going to be here for SCV production, and obviously mules as well. Until he's fully saturated, then he can fly it over. So yeah, we'll see him focusing a little bit more on his economy, and we'll see if Ryu is able to see this, if he's able to respond as...
That's a good play by the Terran. I forget they can just have a SCV unit production machine. It's a barracks just for SCVs. Oh. Can they see it though? Oh, he does. No, I don't know. I don't think he sees it.
He did. He caught a glimpse. He actually caught a glimpse of it.
Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, I think his build was just a little bit too close to the depots there.
Yeah. So because of that, Ryu, he is aware of the opening, and here we have a couple of Hellions to try and deny some creep spread. They can, but oh god, there are just already all these queens here.
Yeah, this creep spread is nuts right now. It's good. It's exactly what I was saying. Like, you need it. Like, the most important part is to get your creep up on the high ground there, because not being able to see up on the high ground right outside of your base is pretty damn scary.
Oh, and yeah, he tried to commit in, but then he saw like the Lings waiting for him. He's like, all right, I don't wanna go into that.
Like, oh, Lings too, I'm good. Yeah, that's not really that good. A whole scan for 1 creep tumor.
Yeah.
Just put right back down by the 3 queens.
Not that ideal. And Ryu, he's starting to switch things up. We have +1 range on the way, and we have a Roach Warren on the way as well.
Roach against the Terran. Bio-Terran.
Yeah. It's not ideal, but it can hit hard.
I think that means Ryu's pretty confident.
Yeah, like it can hit hard and pretty fast. Like it obviously it needs to deal damage, but like his push could potentially end the game. Like because of how
I think this is gonna work is because he went for a very fast layer, so he's already getting roach speed. He got very fast +1/+1. That's already done. So he's gonna be able to max out on roaches before like the 8-minute mark.
Yeah, like he's already getting a 4th hatchery as well for that extra larva. Yeah, this roach ravager, like he's already starting that roach production, and because Chaos went for that faster 3rd CC, like his army isn't anywhere near where it would have been. Like there's no banshees either, nothing like that. So
I think also what triggered Ryu was the amount of Hellions he saw. Like it's very slight, but like the difference between like 6 and 8 Hellions, I don't remember exactly how many he went out with, but I think Ryu saw enough Hellions to warrant the roaches. He's like, okay, he spent a lot of time in the Hellions, he's gonna be down 1 or 2 tanks, which we see here he only has 1 tank for defense.
Yep.
Which is, he's getting out 2 now. Normally you'd have like 3, maybe a 4th one if you really get greedy. So these roaches could hit hard and it could work.
Yeah, definitely. He's making more. He's actually going right into 2-2 as well. So his upgrades are just,
I love it.
Yeah, 1-1 hasn't even finished for the Terran. Like,
oh my god, he's gonna hit with 2-2 roaches, and he's gonna be pretty close to max out already. He's making more and more roaches, and just all he's getting is upgrades, roaches, and overlords.
Yeah,
he stopped his drone production completely. This drop is gonna be a thorn in his side. I think it's going to trigger the push out because he'll be discovered. He'll probably push out and leave a little bit at home.
Yeah, like a lot is on the line with this drop, I should say, like to keep the army at home, to delay the push, to try and hurt the economy even more for Ryu. It can definitely work, but there's a spore here, there are a couple of lings, so we'll see how long it takes for the army to respond.
Be able to take this out easily. I just don't want him to respond with his whole army because then might be a little scary. It's gonna be a long walk back to the counter attack. He's out with everything and the medevac. It's really good. And now Ryu has to go for a push, I think, and keep his queens at home in a defensive position. Maybe even a couple units at home if he can. And one thing I just realized about this map also that I don't like is the position of the 4th base. You have to take it next right there because there's no other 4th base to take. It's either out in the open if you take it to the right, or it's super far away.
Yeah. So, and it is also a little bit abusable by drops as well. So,
yeah, we'll rough to get secure a 3rd or 4th. I mean, what is that? A 5th base out here.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit concerned because there's only 3 tanks, and here comes the push again. For the last couple of minutes, no drones have been made for Ryu. It's just Roach Ravager.
I feel like you should have taken out that wall. Drop. Same time going in, but he should be able to defend with these reinforcements, maybe.
Yeah, but the Marines, they trade decently against roaches.
Oh my gosh, he's getting burrow now.
Yeah, he's getting burrow and roach movement,
and the infestation pit. Oh, he's getting roach movement. I think he's just trying to buy time. He's like, okay, this isn't working. I need my late game army. I need my Vipers. Pulling the boys. SCVs are pulled. Tank's doing a lot of splash damage on his own SCVs, and 10 SCVs go down. He does reset the tank count. There's only 1 tank left, and he's gonna get out there with a little bit of army, maybe.
Yeah, but again, like I think KLC did enough to hold, just enough to hold, and now the Marines they do clean up, and
he lost 19 workers though.
He did lose 19 workers. It's important to note though that he has 3 CCs for mules. He's not that far behind in workers compared to Ryu because Ryu cut so much of his drones. Like he's only just now starting to drone up his 4th base.
Yeah, but he's already going in hive and he's not even off 3 bases yet.
Yeah, this is interesting because now he's starting melee upgrades. I don't know if that's maybe for broodlords like the broodlings.
It's for the banelings, I think.
Yeah, we do have a bailing nest on the way. So, oh, the roaches, they're starting to funnel in. They're striking around.
How did you not see it? It's such. I guess it's because we're Zerg players, so we know. But like, that's just so obvious. To when you look at that, I honestly don't like. I think I should make it more discreet. But yeah, when roaches are walking across the map, you just see the floor shaking.
Yeah, and it looks like
it works perfectly. And he's taking out workers in the main. He's taking out workers in the natural. He took out a tank, I think. Oh no, he's going. But he's pulling the army apart. He should jump in here. I don't think he knows there's only 1 tank there.
Yeah, that's the thing. There wasn't too much like protecting the tank, so I do think
friendly fire. Oh, that's so good.
Oh god, but at the same time, there's a massive drop in the main base of Ryu, and he's gonna get the hive before it finishes.
God, the hive! He went for the drop on the hive. This madman.
Oh god.
know Ryu's upset. Oh my god, that was great.
And now he can just go to the 4th.
Oh my god. This madman. Oh no, the roaches. The roaches, Ryu.
Oh god, at the same time.
Some of them are out of vision. God. This man and his drops. Who are we watching right now?
we're watching the Peruvian Maru right now, and
Peruvian Maru.
Another scan reveals the roaches. I would love to see finally some missile turrets are being thrown down to try and help with this. There are still a couple of roaches in the main base, so they can pop out at any moment. But Chaos is actually looking.
Oh, there they go. Well, I was gonna say, there's no way Ryu remembers those 2 roaches in the corner. He remembers.
He knows.
Ryu
he knows.
remembers.
And Chaos is actually kind of heavily supply blocked right now. Like, there's not even a
and
depot on the way.
He's kind of out of money too.
Yeah.
He's got no mining really. I guess he does have that 3rd base. His 4th base is coming along, but yeah, he's oversaturated. He's kind of.
He can't land.
Oh my god! But he's going for a huge attack. He's gonna get this whole army from Ryu.
Oh,
wow! I think he's. Oh my god! I was gonna say he could win this right here, but 1 or 2 Baneling connects and it's all over. Corrosive battling that now, and with this Baneling count, there's no stopping him, I don't think.
Oh my god, like these are speedless as well. Like Chaos, he just wasn't paying attention at the wrong moments, and he didn't split his army. He lost so many Marines to just a handful of Banelings. He does cancel a base, but
Speed's about to finish though. Speed's done in like 15 seconds. I don't know if he bought enough time. He did expand to the very southeastern corner of the map, and he's gonna start taking all his drones over there. And these I have not seen burrowed roaches work against a Terran in a long time.
yeah, he's just doing so much work with them. 23 SCVs went down for that, and it's hard to say who's ahead because Ryu, he did lose 2 hatcheries, but the thing is, he saved the majority of his drones. Like, look at the worker count. Like, they're all long distance mining right now, but as soon as the bottom right base finishes, like, he's gonna be solid.
Yeah, and especially he'll get the larva. He's already banking a lot of gas. So let's see what he's getting. Vipers already. This man's crazy. There is only a couple tanks. Like, I don't know how Ryu managed to get on late game. I feel like we're still in the early minutes of this game. Like, it doesn't feel like we ever had a transition into the late game. But we are in the late game now, and Ryu has Vipers. He's getting Ultralisk Den. He's getting plus 2 melee, 22 Lings. Vipers are charged up, and I think we have it again like the first game. The Terran just not getting anything crazy. There's no Thors. I know Thors aren't the best, but they do kind of tank good against Ultralisks, and then get some Liberators.
Yeah, I would say that it's hard to say because Kaozfate, he did snipe the Hive earlier, so maybe he thought he could stick with this army composition for a little bit longer, and he could, but he, as you're saying, like, he does need to tech up. He does need to start making more Liberators or Ghosts or something, right, to deal with Brood Lords and Ultras, because
Ghosts would be good against the Ultras as well.
Yeah, like something, right, like more than just Marine tank.
Yeah, I think we should really just be happy that he didn't go Lurkers. That would be brutal for the team.
But things are kind of quieting down, and now we're gonna see how Ryu deals with this, because we have drops headed towards the left and the right hand side, and the army.
The Hive again.
The army's a little bit out of position, but Ling Bane is already here.
Yeah, Ryu's probably a little tilted over that first Hive pickoff. If not, he's a god, because I would be very upset.
I just realized there's a landed Viking with this as well.
That's hilarious. Added DPS.
Meanwhile, on the right, the drops tried to deal damage, but the army was already there, and it did push it away. So these drops, they actually didn't find anything.
I feel like he's got plenty of medevacs already. He needs to... Let me check the tab real quick. He's got 8 medevacs. Oh my god, parasitic bomb. Okay, well, never mind. He needs to keep making medevacs, but I'm interested what's up with the starport, because he's only making 1 medevac at a time.
Yeah. He only has 1 starport, which is a bit of an... Yeah.
How's he spending? I think he's just spending his money really well, because he did secure both of those bases, the 3rd and the 4th. And now he's mining a lot.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the gas.
That's the big problem, right? Like, he's still stuck on 4 bases. He needs a 5th incredibly badly, and we're getting to the point where Ryu, he's maxing out, and he has the better army. He has Ultralisk, he has Vipers, and against Marine Tank, like, it's gonna be difficult to deal with.
Here we go, the Yoinks or the Blinding Clouds? Blinding Clouds it is, no Yoinks. Oh, both. Special, the Blinding Cloud Yoink. And here we go, we see everything getting destroyed. The base goes down, that ends the mining. 17 workers go down, a drop in the main at the same time. He's getting cleaned up. Wow, he even left enough at home to defend, or just now got enough to defend. But he saved his main base. It's game number 1 all over again. Ryu's just gonna bleed him dry, and eventually he'll run out of economy.
Yeah, like these drops at the beginning, they were actually dealing a good amount of damage, but for the past couple of minutes, they just haven't been finding anything really. And the problem is that 4th base was taken out, and the CC next to the 4th base that was building got taken out as well. So now Chaos, it feels like he's kind of all in right now.
Yeah, he's all in, but look at this creep. He has to clear the creep and like wait for it to go away and then move in, and that could take weeks, maybe months. And in that time, Ryu will just move in with a bunch of Banelings, a couple Blinding Clouds. He'll throw in some Yoinks and some Broodlords and end the game.
Yeah, then we have the Greater Spire is on the way, and
he just went for the supply depot, the overcharged supply depot, and the supply blocks his opponent, which is hilarious because at this point in the game, he had just enough to be at 100 supply, 200 supply.
Yeah,
it's actually not a good surround here.
Yeah, that's but they're like the Blinding Clouds are enough to cover the tanks. The Ultralisk push in. There's a lot of Marines, but Marines aren't what you want against Ultralisk and Ling Bane.
Oh my god. The backup Lings, the Ravagers still mixed in here. There's actually a lot of Roaches mixed in there for some reason. I don't know why he decided to make more Roaches. Maybe they never died from the beginning. I don't quite know, but he cleaned up all the army. The Queens are still following this, and there's a bunch of Ultralisk alive, and with the reinforcing Lings, there's about 34 of them coming up right now. Another Ultralisk on the way, and then I'm pretty sure we'll have Broodlords in a couple minutes here.
Oh,
I think this should be GG due to the lack of money. GG, Ryu takes game number dose in the series. The single limb today, right?
Yeah, single limb.
Imagine if it was double limb. This bracket is massive. Played by Ryu. It's like it's kind of like my morning coffee, you know, just seeing a Terran bio get destroyed by Ling Bane. It's a good way to wake up in the morning, even though it's evening for me.
Yeah. And honestly,
yeah, I love it.
Like Chaos, that game, there were moments where he was looking pretty good. Like if you remember, Ryu, he worked his way up to like this big initial Roach Ravager push, and you know, Chaos, he defended it well, he counterattacked. Yeah, and after that, like the drops were dealing damage, but like over time, like Ryu, he just
hive, that was huge.
Yeah. I think the biggest.
I think we need to capitalize more on that though.
Yeah. I think probably the biggest thing was that what was I gonna say? The Burrowed Roaches, they did an insane amount of damage.
Oh yeah, the Burrowed Roaches was crazy. When do you see that against a Terran? That's just so hard to do. He really kept him on his toes. I think that's really what saved him, because I was gonna say after he got the hive, when he took those bases to like the southeast or the east side of the map that are really exposed, if he were to push into those bases right there, he would have been able to do so much damage and cripple the economy. But he kept trying to go over towards the opposite side and drop into the main and hit that side. But I think he should have gone for the other bases because they were more exposed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if he was dropping over to the right hand side instead.
But I'm looking at the bracket, and we're gonna get into the next round. Finally, round number 2. We're gonna keep following Ryu, correct?
Yeah, I feel so bad because I don't know if you're looking at the in-game chat. Parker Mike invited me to Parker Mike versus Dostan, and I was like, I'm sorry, we're already casting Ryu versus Eggs, and they're like, wow, like we were waiting, we wanted you guys in, and it's like,
oh my god. That's funny. That would be a good one to cast though.
It would.
There's so many good games. I can't pick. Paco he said I thought we were friends. Like, there are no friends, only StarCraft.